Hey everyone, welcome to the vid. And in this vid, I'm going to talk about the importance of recognizing your potential bad habits or some of the things that you're doing which probably aren't really helping you and maybe they're holding you back, about how to actually recognize these things and the importance of changing them, and also, most of all, what to actually do to change them. When I'm coaching people through their anxious thinking and through all the things that they're doing to help them with their DPDR, one of the things which pretty much always comes up is they have some kind of bad habit. Now, that could be a physical thing, like they just sort of sit around on the couch all day ruminating and just going on Facebook groups and all that type of stuff. Or it could be a mental habit where if a bad thought sort of comes into their mind, just anything that might freak them out, they are in the habit of, engaging with it and answering it and trying to figure it out. So here is what I'm talking about identifying things which aren't helping you. Think about you. What do you do right now which you think might not be the best thing that you can be doing? For example, are you constantly researching YouTube and Facebook and everything else to try and find answers to a question that you already know the answer to, or you never find a satisfactory answer no matter how often you look? Why are you doing that if you are doing that? Have a good thing. Why am I actually doing that? What am I getting out of doing this? These are activities which are probably not going to help you. So one of the things that you need to start doing is to put it simply, you need to start doing something else, because if you keep putting in the same ingredients, you're going to keep getting out the same result. So for example, if you do follow these thoughts down the rabbit hole, something that you might try is, when this sort of bad thought comes up, which you usually follow, you can say something to yourself like, oh, it's okay, I'm working through this right now. That's just a thought. It doesn't define me, and then just keep getting on doing with what you're doing, rather than going, oh, what if this is true? How do I prove that I'm real? And all this other type of stuff. Just, you've been down that path many times. You know where that leads. It's time for you to go down a different path. One of the things that's probably going to be really quite unfamiliar to you when you start this is that it's simply just going to feel weird. You might think, well, it doesn't have any effect on me. It doesn't make me feel better, or it feels wrong to do this, or it doesn't feel like me. It doesn't feel natural. And those are all very normal responses. And hey, you'd be right to think all that stuff. But the thing is, it will help you, and it doesn't feel natural right now. It will start to feel natural. So these are all things that you need to take on board. What's actually happening is you're going to start forming new neural pathways in your mind, and you want to try and starve out the old neural pathways. So as a metaphor, you can think of a big overgrown jungle, and at the moment you're walking on a very well-known, very safe path. But it could be the path of ruminating. It could be the path of following the thoughts down the rabbit hole. But because that path through the jungle is so strong, you know exactly where it is, you know exactly how to use it, and you just keep using it again and again and again, keeping it that same strength. Now, the thing is when you start to go down the different path, such as pulling yourself out of the rabbit hole, making sure you don't ruminate, sort of catching yourself, thinking of new things to say to yourself, or whatever it is. Now you've got a machete and you're trying to hack out a new path through the jungle. So of course it's going to be difficult to begin with. Of course you're going to stumble along, and you might trip up every now and again, and you might want to turn around and run back and go down the path you've always gone, because that's the path you know. But I do encourage you to keep hacking and keep walking, because eventually that new path is going to start to make itself clearer, and that new path is going to start to be more trodden and easier. And you're going to start going down that a lot more. And guess what happens to the old path? That one starts to overgrow. That one starts to get all weeds, and, nature starts to take over again. And in the end, it's not even a path anymore. So this is the transition I'm talking about between having these thoughts that you've always had, and these actions and these habits and all this type of stuff that you've always gone down that path. If you keep doing that, you know the result, where that's going to take you. You know exactly where that path is going to lead. You need to start doing your best to step away from that path and to create a new one. My friends, if you do need some help with this, then consider doing some coaching with me, because this is exactly the type of stuff that we talk about, in addition to a lot of other things. And these are the things which get you to where you want to get to, which is back to this strong sense of self, being connected, just getting your life back on track. So my friends, I hope you've liked this video and you've learned a little bit. And until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.